Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I'm here to talk about my April TBR. I have far overestimated my reading abilities in the month of April. The thing that you should know going in is that I randomly at the end of March decided to participate in this round of RibSat. RibSat is the Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon. It started at the end of March, and there's still a week to go. It ends next week on April 10th, and I'm trying to use that as a motivational force to read my own books. I keep putting off these books that I've had on my shelf for forever, and it's weird because they're gonna take me not that long to read. So those are some of the books I'm covering today. But let's just get into it so I can talk about what I want to read, because apparently I have huge dreams. So first of all, I am finishing up my read of The Fate of the Tearling by Erika Johansen. I've been talking about this series pretty seriously on my channel for a while now. This is the final book, and I'm on about page 350. I'm almost done with it. I'm terrified to find out how this series ends because I'm worried it's headed towards one of my, least favorite tropes in all of fiction. I'm honestly terrified that that's where it's going. It's the one thing that it could do that would piss me off. So I'm scared. But that's how that's going. I'm probably gonna finish it in the next couple of days, and hopefully it doesn't destroy the fact that I adore this series with all of my heart, because that would make me so sad. Beyond that, I want to talk about a couple of the books I'm planning to try to read for my challenges of the year. One of those challenges is to read at least one 2017 release every single month. For this month, I'm planning on reading American Street by E.B. Zoboi. This was released in February. It was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. It's about this girl named Fabiola, and her mother are emigrating from Haiti to America, but her mother gets stopped by immigration, and so Fabiola is forced to go and try to live with her cousins and integrate into American life on her own. This is supposed to have some really interesting magical realism, lots of voodoo culture, and I'm so excited to read this. Like I said, it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, so this is the 2017 release that I'm definitely planning to read. And then for a book that's on my top 15 to read in 2017 TBR, we've got Look Both Ways by Alison Cherry. This is one of those books that I've been putting off because I bought it and then started hearing really terrible things about it. But it's on my TBR, so I have to read it. It was originally sold to me as two girls in a summer program are roommates and they start to fall for each other, but apparently that is kind of a narrow view of what this is, and this has gotten a lot of criticism for bi erasure and general not goodness. Clearly I'm psyched out of my mind to read this, but I have to read it because I put it on my TBR at the beginning of the year. Hopefully I will get something out of it, but honestly, I'm feeling much less sure at this point. Now on to some of my other books. We also have How to Hang a Witch by Adriana Mather. This was on my TBR for March, and I didn't get to it. I dragged it across New England in the hopes that I would start it, but I did not. Took it to Salem, took a bunch of photos of it, did not start to read it. But it is about this girl who moves to Salem, and she's the descendant of one of the people responsible for the Salem witch trials, which does not get her in good with a bunch of the girls who live in Salem who happen to be descendants of people who were killed in the Salem witch trials. The author herself is actually descended from someone who was in Salem at the time, and while I was in Salem, I found a headstone with the same last name, Mather. I found a Mather in the Salem graveyard, which was ridiculous. I'm just expecting it to be kind of a fun ride in general. I'm hoping that I get a little bit of fun and enjoyment out of it. I would also really love to read Swarm by Scott Westerfeld, Margo, Lanagan, and Deborah Biancotti. This is the second book in a series. The first book was Zeros. It's about these 6 kids who have some kind of enhanced ability. In the first book, it was kind of about them teaming up to make a future superhero team, and so I'm excited to hear more about them in this book. I got through the first book super speedy, and then I've never picked up the second book for some reason, so hopefully this book goes just as fast as the first one did, and I get to remember what I liked about these characters in the first place. So next up I have a trade paperback that my girlfriend is absolutely insisting I read, and that is The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Squirrel Power. This is the first of the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl comics. It is by Ryan North and illustrated by Erika Henderson. It's a Marvel comic. It's about a really silly superhero whose name is Squirrel Girl, and my girlfriend loves it and just insists wholeheartedly that I read it. I mean, it's a trade. I'm gonna get through it super speedy, so I know that I'll be getting to this one. I'm excited to get to some silliness with superpowers. Why were my goals set so high for this month? I also really want to read The Seafarer's Kiss by Julia Ember. This is an arc. It was just sent to me by Interlude Press. Thank you, Interlude. They also sent me another book, which I will mention in a book haul soon. But this is basically a bisexual Norse retelling of The Little Mermaid. Like, it's a female-female romance. I've heard tons about this. It's been getting hyped for a while now online, and I'm really hoping that I will love it. I think that it's gonna be really magical. I'm hoping that the relationship is really nice and that I end up loving it. And this is coming out on May 4th of 2017, just so you know about the release date of this one. I'm really excited about it. All right, I assume you've been able to see it in the background. The next book that I want to get to in April, if not finish, at least start in April, it's A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I feel like I need to, lean my arm up against this because this is so heavy that I need an assistant to hold it up. So this is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I'm assuming you've heard about this. Who has not heard about A Court of Mist and Fury at this point? The first book was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this one is kind of like a Hades and Persephone retelling. It is enormous, but the reason that I want to at least start it in April is because the third book, A Court of Wings and Ruin, comes out in May. I don't want to wait to read the last book until everyone else has already read it and it's like old news. I want to read it when it comes out, after Janelle reads it, because these are her books. And she will be buying it and reading it first. And then hopefully I will. But even people who really didn't like ACOTAR loved this book. This was such a huge favorite of last year. Get it? Huge. I'm hoping I love it. I liked the first book. I thought it was interesting, and so I'm excited to see where the second book goes. Well, there you go, guys. That's my TBR for the month of April. Sure do have big dreams this year. Here's hoping that I accomplish at least most of this. Maybe? What are you guys planning on reading in the month of April? Are you reading anything exciting? Are you, by any chance, reading any of these? Seems unlikely, but I think that there's actually an ACOTAR Akamov readathon going on right now, so maybe some of you are reading this in preparation for the third book. Anyway, let me know what you're reading. Let me know what you think about the books that I've decided to try to read this month. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!